Hello, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, depending where you are. So we are streaming from Connect Africa. I am your host, Mahlek Ayala. Again, we are going to talk about that what has been just announced today on 3rd of January that Donald Trump, the president of the United States, announced that the U.S. has captured or arrested the Venezuelan president Maduro and his wife, and they have been flown to a next country that we don't know up until now. Now I want to bring this to the African perspective because that's what we are. It's a Pan-African media platform. The Pan-African Pyramid, this is an institution, has released a Pan-African statement against the arrest of Nicolas Maduro and his wife because this is definitely a breach of sovereignty. And what does this mean also for Africa, as this will invite then who is next? Okay, first of all, why Africa needs to be worried. I'm going to play this clip for you so you know why this concern Africa, and then I'm going to read the press statement for you. Listen to this. This man is a DJ Boakali. He's a Pan African. So let's listen to him. Okay.
Today, January.
Let me, sorry about that. I'm going to share again the video. Okay, listen to him now.
2026, US President Donald Trump has announced that the United States carried out a large-scale strike in Venezuela. And get this, they captured President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. They flew them out of the country to a destination that we do not know. As we await for more details, Africans must immediately speak out clearly on this matter. Here are 3 reasons why Africa must condemn the US action in the severest terms possible. Firstly, these massacres sovereignty and international law. We are back to the days of might makes right, a superpower using military force to remove a sitting head of state signals that sovereignty is conditional and that borders can be overridden by power. For Africa, that is existential. Many African states have lived through external meddling. This normalizes it, updates it, and advertises it. Secondly, the US has crowned itself yet again as the world's rogue sheriff who does whatever he wants, whenever he wants, with no consequences. The US has just kidnapped a sitting president. If unilateral capture becomes acceptable, African leaders, officials, and even private citizens become more vulnerable to coercive cross-border tactics by powerful states. Thirdly, this illegal and unjust action by the US accelerates global instability and retaliation. Strikes on a capital city and the removal of a president raise the risk of escalation, proxy conflict, copycat actions, and tit-for-tat seizures. When major powers act outside shared rules, everyone else starts testing the waters and pushing boundaries. That is how the world slides from law into chaos. That's why Africa must speak with one voice. African presidents, the African Union, and regional bodies, including the Alliance of Sahel States, must unreservedly condemn this action. They should convene urgent consultations push the matter at the United Nations and impose the most severe diplomatic censure available to them, including recalling all African ambassadors from Washington. Africa will not accept a world where power replaces law. Today, January.
Okay, sorry, I was muted. So that more or less shows you what why the Africa or Africans needs to be concerned and how they will be impacted. It's a matter of question of who is next. Well, I mean, they have done it with Libya. They have done it with any many heads of states or governments in the world. Now let's read the statement from the Pan-African Pyramid. Let me see. I hope that is. Can we read that? Yeah, this is a press release. Then I will read it for you. Oops, sorry. Okay. It says, so as you can see here with the header of the Pan-African Pyramid, it says one struggle, many fronts. That looks like their motto. Office of the Speaker for immediate release, 3 January. Press statement on the barbaric and imperialist aggression by the United States against the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. The Pan-African Pyramid, or known as also PAP, unequivocally condemns the barbaric, lawless, and arrogant act of aggression perpetrated by the United States of America under the leadership of President Donald J. Trump, involving the invasion of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela and the alleged abduction and forcible removal of President Nicolas Maduro and the First Lady Celia Flores from their sovereign homeland in a desperate attempt to impose regime change. This action represents the highest expression of imperial arrogance, a gross violation of international law, the United Nations Charter, and the foundational principles of national sovereignty and self-determination. The Pan-African Pyramid aligns itself with a firm and courageous position articulated by the Vice President of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, who has publicly stated that the Venezuela state does not know the whereabouts of President Nicolas Maduro and the First Lady. We therefore demand without equivocation that the government of the United States immediately provides verifiable proof of life and discloses the location and condition of President Maduro and Celia Flores, the enforced disappearance of a sitting head of state and first lady is not diplomacy, it's a state terrorism. Historical pattern of American interventionism, and here is as stated by the Pan-African Pyramid. It reads as, the aggression against Venezuela does not occur in a vacuum. It's a part of a long, bloody, and a well-documented history of United States interference in Latin America, Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. From Guatemala in 1954, Chile in 1973, Grenada in 1983, Panama in 1989, Iraq, Libya, Syria, to countless covert operations across the global south, the United States has consistently sought to overthrow governments that refuse to submit to its economic and geopolitical dictates. Venezuela is a crime. Venezuela's crime has been its insistence on sovereign control over its over its vast oil reserves, gold, gas, and strategic natural resources, and its refusal to surrender the assets to Western multinational corporations. The world cannot forget that the United States government openly placed a monetary bounty on the head of a sitting Venezuelan president. This unprecedented act of international banditry reduced diplomacy to a criminal enterprise and signaled to the world that Washington no longer respects even the most basic norms of state conduct. Such actions expose the United States not as a defender of democracy, but as a predator state willing to criminalize legitimate governments in pursuit of plunder. Pan-African Pyramid is fully aware that the objective of this aggression is not democracy, human rights, or freedom, but the installation of a compliant puppet regime that will hand over Venezuela's natural wealth to foreign interests. This same model has been imposed on Africa for decades. Destabilized sanction this same model has been imposed on Africa for decades. Destabilize, sanction, demonize, invade, and install a comprador leadership. Venezuela is now being subjected to the same neo-colonial script. The people of Venezuela have the inalienable right to determine their political future, protect their resources, and safeguard what is most sacred to the homeland, that is, independence, dignity, and continuity of their historical project. No imperial aggression will erase, undermine the immortal legacy of Libertador Simon Bolivar. His vision of a free, united, and sovereign Latin America continues to inspire resistance across the global south, including Africa. Bolivar's struggle mirrors Africa's own unfinished liberation from imperial domination. As a Pan-African organization, PAP affirms that the struggle of Venezuela is inseparable from the struggle of Africa and all oppressed peoples. An attack on Venezuela is an attack on the global south. Silence in the face of such injustice would be complicity. We call upon African governments, progressive Pan-African movements, civil society, and all people of conscience to reject this imperial overreach and stand firmly with the people of Venezuela. Pan-Africa Pyramid demands the immediate cessation of all acts of aggression against Venezuela, the restoration of its full sovereignty and accountability for those responsible for this criminal enterprise. History will not be kind to empires that mistake brute force for legitimacy. Africa, don't agonize, organize. Now, it's not only the Pan-African Pyramid, that's where the press statement ends. It's not only that. Another Pan-African institution called the African Continental Unity Consult has also released a statement condemning the aggression against Venezuela. So in their statement, the African Continental Union Consult, the Ghana chapter has strongly condemned what it describes as military aggression by the United States and against Venezuela, characterizing the development as violation of international law and an affront to the sovereignty of the Venezuelan people. In a statement issued by the head Benjamin Anyagre, chief executive officer, the group said it stood in solidarity with Cuba and the people of Venezuela, describing the situation as international crime against the sovereign people of Venezuela and likening it to be the 1989 capture of former Panamanian leader General Manuel Noriega. So according to the African Continental Union consults, the action against Caracas amount to a calculated war without provocation, which it claims it's driven by imperial interest in Venezuela's natural resources. Quote, the CEO of the African Continental Union Council said, the calculated war against Caracas without any provocation is an imperial target on the natural resources of Venezuela. So these are the two Pan-African institutions releasing their statement against the aggression of the United States against Venezuela. Well, I personally wait for, for organizations like the African Union, what they have to say, because they have been meddling their nose in a lot of affairs that's going on globally and releasing statements. Now, this one, let's see what you are going to say, because as a sitting president of a sovereign country has been taken. And what does this mean really for Africa, who, who is always have to align itself to whether to the east or to the west or this and that for them to stay in power. So is this something that also the individual, the African presidents or heads of states who are hiding in their little sovereign countries that they can, so that they can enjoy power? Okay, this is why they rejected or refused, or maybe delayed is a better word, when Kwame Nkrumah called in 1963 for the urgent unity. He said basically unite or perish. All these African countries, except few, have refused because they wanted to stay and enjoy power in the borders that has been left by the colonial powers, so that they can stay in power and abuse power as well. Well, let's see now, the country superpower like the United States will come and don't even care about your sovereignty and can take just presidents, sitting presidents like that. I mean, this is not something new. You have allowed it when it happens to Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. Now let's see which African country will have the ball, will have the gut to say something against the United States, and if the African Union will say something against this. That is what I'm going to wait. Meanwhile, we are also waiting the press release that will be given by Donald Trump. The details of this. Well, thank you for very much for tuning in. Now you all understand why Africa, this also impacts Africa, because this is a breach of sovereignty. This is again ensuring, again and again, time and again, that the United States is the rogue sheriff of the world, and this is also illegal. And are you going to keep quiet? Let's see. Thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one. And probably we also try to bring analysts to give us a detailed view of what's happening and how that is perceived as well from the region. Thanks again.